was sitting in my car outside a divorce attorney's office when I heard my stepmother's voice coming from my phone. I'd been scrolling through old voicemails, trying to find one from my husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, from when things were still good between us, from before everything fell apart. Instead, I found a voicemail I'd saved but never deleted, from 8 months ago, from Diane, my stepmother. I pressed play. "Hi, sweetie, it's Diane. Just wanted to check in. I know you and Ryan have been having some rough patches. I'm here if you need to talk. Anytime. You know, I only want what's best for you. Call me when you can. Love you." Her voice was sweet, concerned, maternal. I'd appreciated that message at the time, had felt grateful that my stepmother cared enough to reach out, that she wanted to support me through a difficult time in my marriage. But now, sitting in this parking lot with divorce papers in my purse, I heard something different. I heard satisfaction. It was subtle, just a slight tone in the word rough patches, a hint of pleasure in acknowledging my marital problems. I replayed it, listened closer, and I heard it again. That barely perceptible note of triumph. My hands started shaking. I scrolled through more voicemails, found another from 6 months ago. "Hi, honey, it's me again. Just thinking about you. I know Ryan's been working late a lot. That must be hard. If you need to talk about it, I'm always here. Sometimes men just don't understand what we need. Anyway, call me. Love you." There it was again. The concern that wasn't quite concern, the sympathy that held something else underneath. I kept scrolling. Found a voicemail from 4 months ago, right after Ryan and I had our biggest fight, the fight that made me move out for a week. "Sweetheart, your dad told me about the fight. I'm so sorry. I know how hard you're trying to make this marriage work. Some people just aren't compatible, no matter how much we want them to be, but you're strong. You'll get through this. Call me if you need anything." Some people just aren't compatible. She'd said that to me when I was at my lowest, when I was questioning everything about my marriage, and I'd internalized it, had started believing that maybe Ryan and I just weren't meant to be together. I sat there in that parking lot, and a terrible realization began to form. What if Diane hadn't been supporting me through my marital problems? What if she'd been creating them? I thought about the past year, about how every argument Ryan and I had seemed to escalate after I'd talked to Diane about it, about how every doubt I expressed to her somehow grew larger in my mind afterward, about how she always had advice that seemed helpful, but somehow made things worse. My phone was still in my hand, still showing that list of saved voicemails. There were dozens of them, from the past 2 years, from the entire span of my marriage's slow deterioration. I'd saved them because they felt important, because Diane was the only person who seemed to really understand what I was going through. But what if I'd been wrong? What if these voicemails were evidence of something else entirely? I looked at the attorney's office, at the door I was about to walk through to finalize the end of my marriage, and I made a decision. I needed to listen to every single voicemail Diane had ever left me. Really listen for what was being said between the lines. Because if I was right, if my stepmother had been deliberately poisoning my marriage, then I needed proof before I signed those divorce papers. And if I was wrong, if I was just being paranoid, then I'd know that too. I started the car and drove away from the attorney's office. I had recordings to analyze and a terrible suspicion to either confirm or dismiss. My name is Claire Bennett, and I'm 31 years old. I married Ryan Hughes 3 years ago after dating for 2 years. It was a beautiful wedding. Small, intimate, everything we wanted. Ryan is an architect, kind, thoughtful, a little quiet, but deeply loving. We met at a friend's dinner party and connected over a shared love of terrible sci-fi movies and good coffee. The first 2 years of our relationship were easy. We laughed constantly, finished each other's sentences, made plans for the future, a house, kids, growing old together. Everyone said we were perfect for each other, including my father and stepmother. My father, Robert, remarried when I was 23. My mother had died 6 years earlier from breast cancer. I was 17 when she died, and my father was devastated. He was alone for 6 years before he met Diane at a charity fundraiser. She was 52 to his 58. Elegant, sophisticated, always perfectly put together. She was kind to me from the beginning, told my father she didn't want to replace my mother, just wanted to be a good friend to his daughter. I appreciated that. I was an adult. I didn't need a mother, but I liked having Diane in my life. She was warm, interested in my career, always available to talk. When Ryan and I got engaged, Diane was thrilled. She helped plan the wedding, gave advice on venues and caterers, welcomed Ryan into the family with open arms. "You've found a good one," she told me at my bridal shower. "Don't let him go." I hadn't intended to. The first year of marriage was blissful. Ryan and I bought a small house, settled into routines, navigated the normal adjustments of living together full time. We had disagreements, sure, about whose turn it was to do dishes, about how to spend holidays, about whether to get a dog. Normal newlywed stuff, but nothing serious, nothing that threatened us. Then, about 18 months into our marriage, things started to shift. Ryan's firm landed a huge project. He started working longer hours, coming home exhausted, too tired to talk, too stressed to engage. I understood. He was under pressure. But I also felt lonely. I started calling Diane more. She was always available, always ready to listen. Marriage is hard, especially when work gets in the way. You need to make sure Ryan's prioritizing you. She was right. So I talked to Ryan about it, asked him to make more time for us. He got defensive, said I didn't understand the pressure he was under, that this project was important for his career. We had our first real fight. He slept on the couch that night. The next day, Diane called to check in. I told her what happened. "Men can be so insensitive," she said. "They don't understand that we need emotional connection, not just financial stability. Maybe you should give him some space. Let him realize what he's missing." So I did. I pulled back, stopped asking about his day, stopped trying to make dinner plans. Things got worse. Ryan noticed the distance, asked what was wrong. I said I was fine, just giving him space like he seemed to want. He looked confused, hurt, said he never wanted space from me. But by then, the pattern was set. We were in a cycle of miscommunication and hurt feelings. And Diane was always there, always with advice that seemed reasonable, but somehow made things more complicated. "Have you thought about couples counseling?" she suggested after a particularly bad fight. "Not that there's anything wrong with your marriage, but sometimes an objective third party can help." I mentioned counseling to Ryan. He heard it as me saying our marriage was broken. Got angry, said we didn't need a therapist, we needed to communicate better. Another fight, more distance. "Maybe he's not ready to do the work," Diane said when I called her crying. "Some men just aren't equipped for the emotional labor of marriage." I started believing her. Started thinking maybe Ryan wasn't capable of meeting my needs. Looking back now, I can see the pattern, but at the time, I was too close to see it. Every conversation with Diane left me feeling more convinced that my marriage was struggling. Every piece of advice she gave created more conflict with Ryan. But I trusted her. She was my stepmother. She'd been married to my father for 8 years. She had experience. She wanted what was best for me. Or so I thought. The real turning point came about a year ago. Ryan and I went through a rough patch financially. His project got delayed.
My freelance work slowed down. Money was tight. We argued about bills and budgets and whether we could afford the house. I called Diane, stressed and scared. She listened, sympathetic.
Money problems destroy marriages, she said. It's one of the leading causes of divorce. You need to protect yourself, Claire. Maybe open a separate account, just in case. Just in case. Just in case my marriage failed. I opened a separate account. Didn't tell Ryan. He found out 2 months later when a statement came to the house. He was devastated. "You're planning to leave me," he said. "That's what this means. You're already halfway out the door." "No, I'm just being practical. Diane suggested." "Diane? You're taking financial advice from Diane about our marriage?" "She was just trying to help. Help you leave me, maybe." That fight was brutal. I moved out for a week, stayed with my father and Diane. Diane was so sympathetic, made tea, let me cry, told me I deserved better than a man who didn't appreciate me. "If he really loved you, he'd understand why you needed that security," she said. "The fact that he's angry about it shows he's not thinking about your needs." I believed her. I went back to Ryan eventually. We tried to work through it, but the trust was damaged. The separate account sat between us like evidence of my lack of faith in our marriage. Over the next months, things deteriorated further. Small arguments became big fights. Miscommunications became patterns. Every problem felt insurmountable. And through it all, Diane was there, supportive, understanding, always with advice that somehow made me feel worse about my marriage instead of better. 3 weeks ago, Ryan and I had the biggest fight yet. About everything, about nothing, about the accumulation of a year's worth of unresolved conflicts. "I don't know if I can do this anymore," he said. His voice was broken, defeated. "I feel like nothing I do is good enough for you, like you're just waiting for me to fail." "That's not true," I said. But was it? Had I been waiting for him to fail? Expecting it even? "You talk to Diane about everything before you talk to me. You trust her opinion more than mine. She's more your partner in this marriage than I am." "That's ridiculous." "Is it? When was the last time you came to me first with a problem? When was the last time you asked my opinion before making a decision?" I couldn't answer, because he was right. Diane had become my primary confidant, my first call, my trusted advisor. Ryan had become someone I lived with, someone I fought with, someone I was slowly losing faith in. "Maybe we need to separate," I said. The words were out before I could stop them. "Maybe we need time apart to figure out if this is working." Ryan's face crumpled. "Is that what you want?" "I don't know what I want. I just know this isn't working." He moved out the next day, found an apartment across town. We agreed to take a month apart to think. I called Diane that night, devastated. "Oh, sweetheart, I know this is hard, but sometimes separation is the best thing. It gives you clarity. And if you decide this marriage isn't right for you, that's okay. You're young. You can start over." Start over. The idea should have felt freeing. Instead, it felt like failure. But Diane was right, wasn't she? We'd tried. We'd struggled. Maybe it was time to admit defeat. I made an appointment with the divorce attorney, did research, started imagining my life post-Ryan. And Diane was there, every step of the way. Encouraging, supportive, helping me see that ending my marriage might be the best thing for me. Until today, until I sat in that parking lot and heard something in her voice that made me question everything. When I got home from the attorney's office, or rather from not going to the attorney's office, I sat down at my kitchen table with my phone and a notebook. I started listening to Diane's voicemails chronologically, from 2 years ago to present, taking notes on what she said, how she said it, what advice she gave. The pattern was undeniable. Every single voicemail identified a problem in my marriage,
Every piece of advice she gave drove a wedge between Ryan and me. Ryan's working late a lot. That must be hard. He doesn't seem to understand your needs. Money problems destroy marriages. Some men just aren't equipped for emotional labor. Maybe this marriage isn't right for you. She never said anything overtly negative, never told me to leave Ryan, never criticized him directly. But every conversation left me doubting, questioning, pulling away. And when I pulled away, Ryan noticed, got hurt, got defensive, and we'd fight, which would lead to another call to Diane, another sympathetic ear, another subtle push toward giving up. It was so clever, so manipulative, and I had fallen for it completely. But why? Why would my stepmother want to destroy my marriage? I called my best friend Melissa. She'd known me since college, had been at my wedding, liked Ryan. Mel, can I ask you something and be honest? Of course. What's up?
Do you think Diane has been, too involved in my marriage? I've thought that for a while, yeah. Why didn't you say something? Would you have listened? Claire, you've been going to Diane for everything. Every time Ryan and I tried to tell you that maybe you should talk to Ryan first, or that maybe Diane's advice wasn't helping, you'd get defensive. I did? Yeah. You'd say we didn't understand, that Diane had more life experience, that she was just trying to help. I felt sick. Mel, I think she's been sabotaging my marriage, deliberately. Oh, honey, I've thought that too. Why would she do that? I don't know, but Claire, she's always been weird about you and Ryan, like overly interested. Remember your wedding? I did remember. Diane had been so involved, more involved than I'd needed her to be, honestly. But I thought she was just being supportive. She gave that toast. Remember what she said? I hadn't thought about it in years, but now I tried to remember. Diane had stood up at the reception, glass of champagne in hand, smiled at me and Ryan. Claire has always been like a daughter to me, she'd said, and I've watched her grow into a remarkable woman, strong, independent, capable of anything she sets her mind to. Ryan, you're a lucky man, but Claire, remember, you don't need anyone to complete you. You're already whole. At the time, it had seemed empowering, feminist, a reminder of my own strength. But now it felt different, like a seed being planted. You don't need anyone. You're already whole. She's been doing this since the beginning, since the wedding, maybe before. Maybe, but why? That was the question. Why would Diane want my marriage to fail? And then I remembered something I'd overheard between Diane and my father about 6 months before I met Ryan. I'd stopped by their house unexpectedly. They were in the study. I heard my father say my name, so I paused in the hallway. Claire's fine on her own. She doesn't need to rush into marriage. She's independent, career-focused. Why would she want to tie herself down? She's 26. It's normal for her to date, to want partnership. Partnership is one thing, marriage is another. I just think she should focus on herself for a while, build her career. She has so much potential. At the time, I thought it was sweet. Diane supporting my independence. But now, I heard something else. Diane not wanting me to get married, not wanting me to have a partnership that might pull me away from her. Because if I was married, I'd go to Ryan first. I'd build a life with him. I'd have less time for my father and Diane. Less time for Diane to be my primary advisor, my confidant, my pseudo-mother. I'd been so grateful for her presence in my life after my mother died, so appreciative of having an older woman to turn to. And maybe she'd liked that role, liked being important to me, liked being needed. And maybe when I got married, she saw that slipping away. So she decided to make sure my marriage failed, to keep me dependent on her,
to keep herself central in my life. It was sick. It was manipulative. And I had proof. Dozens of voicemails, dozens of conversations, all pushing me toward divorce while pretending to support me. The question was, what did I do now? I spent 3 days listening to every voicemail, every saved recording of phone conversations that my phone had automatically backed up to the cloud. There were over 100 of them spanning 2.5 years, and the pattern was clear, undeniable. But I needed more than my own analysis. I needed someone objective to confirm what I was hearing. I called Melissa and asked her to come over, brought my laptop down to the kitchen table, played her a selection of the recordings. She listened in silence. When she finished, she looked at me with something like horror. "Claire, this is insane. She's been gaslighting you for years." "I know. Every single conversation, she's planting doubt, making you question Ryan, making you question your marriage." "I know. And you fell for it. We all did, because she's so subtle, so caring on the surface." I played her another one. From a year ago, right after Ryan and I had argued about where to spend Christmas. "Hi, sweetheart. Your dad told me about the Christmas situation. I know that must be frustrating. Ryan wanting to go to his parents instead of spending it with us. It's hard when someone doesn't value your family the way they should. Just remember, you deserve someone who makes you a priority. Call me if you need to talk. Love you." Mel shook her head. "This sounds like Ryan was choosing his family over yours. But weren't you supposed to alternate years?" "Yes. That year was his family's turn. We had spent the previous Christmas with my dad and Diane. It was totally fair. But after talking to Diane, I felt resentful, like Ryan was being selfish." "And you fought about it."
We fought about it. I accused him of not caring about my relationship with my dad. He was confused because we'd already agreed to the arrangement. The fight was so stupid, but it felt huge at the time. Melissa played the recording again. Listen to how she says, "someone who makes you a priority." She's implying Ryan doesn't, but she's also saying someone, not a husband, like she's already planting the idea that you could find someone else. She was right. I'd heard it as concern, but it was a suggestion, a subtle push toward leaving. "Play me another one," Melissa said. I played the voicemail from when Ryan and I were having money troubles. Melissa's face got darker as she listened. "She literally told you to hide money from your husband to prepare for divorce? Who does that?" "Someone who wants me to get divorced." "But why? What does she get out of it?" "I think she wants to keep me dependent on her. Keep me coming to her for advice. Keep herself central in my life." "That's sick." "I know." Melissa sat back. "What are you going to do?" "I need to talk to Ryan, show him these, explain what's been happening." "Do you think he'll believe you? He's pretty hurt right now." "I don't know, but I have to try. Because Mel, if I'm right about this, then our marriage isn't failing because we're incompatible. It's failing because someone's been actively sabotaging it. And if you're right, can you come back from that? Can you rebuild after all this damage?" That was the question I couldn't answer. I called Ryan, asked if we could meet. Somewhere neutral, somewhere we could talk. He agreed, reluctantly. We met at a coffee shop the next day. He looked tired, thinner than I remembered, dark circles under his eyes. "Hi," he said, sitting down across from me. "Hi." Awkward silence. We used to never have awkward silences. I canceled the appointment with the divorce attorney. His eyes widened. "Why?" "Because I think I've been wrong. About us, about our marriage, about everything. Claire, please, just listen. I need to show you something." I pulled out my laptop, played him 3 voicemails from Diane,
watched his face as he listened. When they finished, he looked confused. "I don't understand. Your stepmother's been supportive. Why are you playing me these?" Listen to what she's actually saying, not the surface level. Listen to the subtext. I played them again, pointed out the subtle implications, the planted doubts, the suggestions that he wasn't good enough. Ryan's expression changed. She's been turning you against me." "I think so. For 2 years. Every conversation with her left me doubting you, doubting us, and I didn't even realize it was happening." Claire, that's manipulation. That's emotional abuse." "I know. And I fell for it. I let her poison my view of you, of our marriage. I'm so sorry." He was quiet for a long time. Why would she do that? I think she liked being my primary support system, liked being the person I turned to. And when I got married, when I had you, she saw that slipping away. So she decided to destroy our marriage to keep you dependent on her? Yes. Ryan ran his hands through his hair. This is insane. This is actually insane. I know. All this time, I thought we were falling apart because of us, because we weren't communicating, because we weren't compatible. We were falling apart because someone was pushing us apart. And you went to her after every fight, got advice that made things worse, which led to more fights, which led to more conversations with her. It was a cycle. And I didn't see it. Ryan looked at me, really looked at me. "Do you still want a divorce?" "No. I want to fix this. If you do, if you're willing to try." "I never wanted a divorce, Claire. I've been trying to save our marriage for a year while you pulled away from me, while you listened to her instead of me." "I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Sorry isn't enough. I need you to understand what happened, that you won't go back to her for advice, that you're willing to actually work on us." "I am. I will. But Ryan, you need to understand, she's very good at this. I didn't realize what was happening until I listened to all the voicemails back to back. In the moment, she seemed helpful, supportive. She's been gaslighting you for years." "Yes. And I need to confront her. I need her to know that I know, and I need my father to know what she's been doing."
Or he's been complicit. "No, my dad loves you. He's been confused about why we're struggling. He wouldn't." "Are you sure? Claire, are you sure your dad hasn't been enabling this?" I wanted to say yes, but I wasn't sure of anything anymore. I need to talk to him, show him the recordings, see if he knew. And if he did, then I've lost both of them. We sat with that for a moment. "I want to be there," Ryan said. "When you confront her, I want to hear what she has to say." "Okay." "And I want us to go to couples counseling, real counseling, not just trying to fix this on our own." "Yes, absolutely." "But Claire, I need you to promise me something." "Anything." "Promise me you'll cut contact with Diane completely. No matter what happens with your dad, she's toxic. She's been deliberately trying to destroy our marriage. I can't compete with that if you keep her in your life." He was right, but the thought of losing Diane, even knowing what I knew, was frightening. She'd been such a constant presence, such a source of support. Except she hadn't been support. She'd been poison disguised as support. "I promise," I said. "No more contact with Diane." "Good. When are you going to talk to your father?" "Tonight. I'll call him now. Ask him to meet me." I called my father from the coffee shop. He answered on the second ring. "Claire, honey, how are you?" "Dad, I need to talk to you. Alone. Can you meet me somewhere?" "Of course. Is everything okay? You sound upset." "I'm fine. I just need to discuss something important without Diane." Pause. Without Diane? Claire, what's this about? I'll explain when I see you. Can you meet me at the house? Your house, in an hour? Diane will be here. Then ask her to go out. Please, Dad, this is important. Another pause. All right, I'll send her to run errands. Come over in an hour. We hung up. Ryan looked at me. Do you want to come? No, I need to do this alone, but I'll call you after. Tell you what happened. Okay. Claire. Yeah? I'm glad you figured this out. I'm glad you're fighting for us. Me too. An hour later, I was sitting in my father's living room, the house I'd grown up in until my mother died. The house Diane had redecorated completely, erasing every trace of my mother. I'd never thought about that before. How thoroughly Diane had removed my mother's presence from this house, from our lives. My father sat across from me, concerned. What's going on, sweetheart? You sounded urgent on the phone. Dad, I need to show you something, and I need you to keep an open mind. Can you do that? Of course. I pulled out my laptop. I've been saving voicemails from Diane for the past 2 years. I thought they were supportive, but when I listened to them all together, I heard something different. What do you mean? I played him a selection, 6 voicemails spanning 2 years. Watched his face as he listened. When they finished, he looked confused. I don't understand. These seem like normal conversations. Diane being supportive. Listen to what she's actually saying, Dad. Listen to how she talks about my marriage, about Ryan. I played them again, pointed out what I'd pointed out to Ryan, the planted doubts, the subtle implications, the suggestions that my marriage was doomed. My father's face changed. She's been encouraging you to leave Ryan? Not explicitly, but yes. Every conversation, every piece of advice, every supportive comment has been pushing me toward divorce. That can't be right. Diane loves you. She wants you to be happy. Does she? Or does she want me to be dependent on her? Claire, that's a serious accusation. I know. But Dad, look at the pattern. Every time Ryan and I had a problem, I'd call Diane. She'd sympathize, give advice that made things worse, and then be there to comfort me when things got worse. It's a cycle. And I think she's been doing this deliberately. My father stood up, walked to the window, stood there with his back to me. Why would she do that? He asked quietly. I think she likes being important to me, being my primary support. And when I got married, that changed. So she tried to make sure my marriage failed. That's not the woman I married. Diane is kind, generous. She loves you, like a daughter. Does she? Or does she love having me need her?
He turned around. I don't believe this. You're upset about your marriage and you're looking for someone to blame. Diane has been nothing but supportive of you. Dad, listen to the recordings again. Really listen. No, I won't participate in this. Diane is my wife, your stepmother. I won't let you attack her like this. I'm not attacking her. I'm showing you evidence. Evidence of what? Her caring about you? Her trying to help during a difficult time? Evidence of manipulation, of sabotage. Dad, please, I need you to hear this, to understand what's been happening. What's been happening is your marriage has been struggling, and instead of taking responsibility, you're blaming Diane. That's not fair, Claire. I felt like I'd been slapped. You don't believe me? I believe you're hurting. I believe your marriage is in trouble, but I don't believe my wife has been trying to destroy it. Then you're not listening. No, you're not listening. Diane has been there for you. Every time you called crying, every time you needed someone to talk to, she dropped everything. That's not sabotage. That's love. It's control, Dad. Can't you see that? I see a daughter who's afraid her marriage is ending and looking for someone to blame besides herself. The words hit like a physical blow. He thought this was my fault? Thought I was making excuses? I'm not making excuses. I'm showing you proof. You're showing me voicemails where your stepmother offered you support. That's all I see. I closed my laptop, stood up. Then you're not looking hard enough. Claire. No, you know what? Fine. Don't believe me, but I'm done with Diane. I'm cutting contact. And if you can't see what she's been doing, then I need space from you too. Don't be dramatic. I'm not being dramatic. I'm protecting my marriage, which is more than you're willing to do for me. I walked to the door. My father followed. Claire, wait, don't leave like this. Why not? You've made it clear whose side you're on. There are no sides. This is family. No, family doesn't manipulate. Family doesn't sabotage. Family supports you. And Diane hasn't been supporting me. She's been destroying me. I left, got in my car, drove away. And as I was driving, my phone rang. Diane. I didn't answer, but she left a voicemail. With shaking hands, I played it. Claire, your father just told me about your visit. I'm so confused and hurt by these accusations. I've only ever wanted to help you. If my advice has somehow made things worse, I'm truly sorry. That was never my intention. Please call me. Let's talk about this. I love you. Please don't shut me out. She sounded sincere, hurt, maternal, and I almost believed her, almost called her back to apologize. But then I listened to the recording again, and I heard it. Subtle, but there. The satisfaction underneath the performance, the hint of pleasure in the word accusations. She wasn't sorry. She was performing. And she was good at it. I didn't call Diane back. Instead, I called Ryan. She left me a voicemail, Diane. After my dad told her about my visit. What did she say? The usual. She's hurt. She's confused. She only wanted to help. She loves me. But I heard it again. That thing in her voice. That satisfaction underneath the performance. What are you going to do? I don't know. My dad doesn't believe me. He thinks I'm making excuses for our failing marriage. And Diane's so good at seeming innocent. We need more proof. Something undeniable. Like what? I have over 100 recordings of her systematically undermining my marriage. But they're subtle. To someone who isn't looking for it, they sound supportive. We need something obvious, something where she admits what she's been doing. An idea formed. What if I could get her to admit it? On recording. How would you do that? By confronting her, face to face, recording the conversation. That's risky, Claire. If she knows you're onto her, she'll just deny everything. Not if I approach it right. Not if I make her think she's won. What do you mean? I tell her I'm filing for divorce, that she was right all along, that Ryan and I aren't compatible, that I need her support. And then I see what she says. If she thinks she's succeeded, if she thinks I'm coming back to her completely dependent, maybe she'll let something slip. That's manipulative. So is what she's been doing to me for 2 years. Ryan was quiet for a moment. Okay, but I'm coming with you. I'll wait outside, but I want to be close by. Okay. I called Diane that evening, put on my best defeated voice. Diane, it's me. Oh, Claire, thank you for calling back. I've been so worried. I'm sorry about earlier, about the accusations. I've just been so stressed about the marriage. I'm not thinking clearly. Oh, sweetheart, I understand. You're going through so much. Can I come over? I need to talk. I need your advice. Of course. When? Now? If that's okay.
Dad's there, isn't he? Actually, he just left to play golf with his friends. It'll be just us. Is that all right? Perfect. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I set up my phone to record audio, put it in my purse with the microphone facing out, tested it to make sure it would pick up conversation. Ryan drove me to my father's house, parked down the street. Are you sure about this? I'm not, but I need to try. If anything feels wrong, if you feel unsafe at all, you leave immediately. I will.
I walked up to the house. Diane opened the door before I could knock. She pulled me into a hug. "Oh, Claire, come in. I made tea." We sat in the living room. She poured tea from the pot she'd prepared, added honey to mine, the way I liked it. "Tell me what's going on," she said. Her voice was warm. Concerned? I took a breath, started the performance. "I think you were right about Ryan, about the marriage. I've been trying so hard to make it work, but maybe we're just not compatible." "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. But sometimes that's just how it is. You can love someone and still not be right for them." I saw a divorce attorney. I have an appointment next week to start the paperwork. Diane's face showed sympathy, but I saw something else flash in her eyes. Satisfaction. Just for a second. "That must be such a difficult decision," she said. "It is, but I think it's the right one. You've been saying it for a while now that some people just aren't compatible, that I deserve someone who makes me a priority. I just want you to be happy. I know, and I appreciate how much you've been there for me. Through all of this, I don't know what I would have done without you. That's what family is for. You've been more than family. You've been like a mother to me, especially after Mom died." Diane's expression softened. "You've been like a daughter to me. From the moment I met you, I've always wanted the best for you." "I know, and I should have listened to you from the beginning. You saw the problems with Ryan before I did. I just have more experience. I've seen what makes marriages work and what doesn't." "Like what?" I leaned forward like I was genuinely curious. "What were the signs you saw?" "Well, the way he prioritized work over you, the way he didn't understand your need for emotional connection, the financial irresponsibility." "He wasn't financially irresponsible, though. We both contributed to that problem." "But he got defensive when you tried to protect yourself. A good husband would have understood why you needed that separate account. You suggested that account because I could see you needed protection. I was trying to help you prepare for this inevitability." "This inevitability? You mean the divorce?" "Well, yes, Claire, I could see this marriage wasn't going to last. From very early on, I tried to prepare you for it." My heart was pounding. She was admitting it, not directly, but close. "When did you know? When did you first think we wouldn't last?" She hesitated. "I suppose around the time you got married, maybe before." "Before the wedding?" "You and Ryan always seemed like you were forcing it, like you were trying to make something work that wasn't natural." "That's not true. We were happy before we got married." "Were you? Or were you just caught up in the excitement of being engaged?" "We were happy." "If you were truly happy, you wouldn't have needed me so much. You wouldn't have been calling me after every little disagreement." "I called you because you're my stepmother, because I trusted your advice. And I gave you the best advice I could. I helped you see the truth about your marriage." "The truth? What truth?" "That you and Ryan weren't right for each other, that you deserve better."
that you're better off alone than in a marriage that makes you unhappy. And if I'd been happy, if the marriage had been good, then you wouldn't have needed my help. But Claire, you called me constantly. You were clearly struggling. I was just helping you see reality. Or were you creating the reality you wanted me to see? Diane's expression changed, went from sympathetic to guarded. What do you mean? I mean, every time I talked to you about a problem with Ryan, your advice made it worse. Every suggestion you gave created more conflict. Every supportive comment left me doubting my marriage more. That's not true. I was trying to help. Were you? Or were you trying to destroy my marriage so you could keep me dependent on you? That's absurd. Claire, you're upset. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking more clearly than I have in 2 years. I've listened to every voicemail you left me, every conversation we had, and the pattern is undeniable. Diane stood up. I think you should leave. Why? Because I'm finally seeing what you've been doing? I haven't been doing anything except supporting you through a difficult time. No, you've been systematically undermining my marriage, planting doubts, giving advice designed to create problems, all so I'd keep coming to you, keep needing you. That's a terrible thing to say. It's the truth. Your marriage failed because of you and Ryan, not because of me. My marriage is failing because you've been poisoning it from the beginning. I've been trying to protect you, to help you see that Ryan isn't good enough for you. What do you mean, not good enough for me? I just mean, you deserve the best, and Ryan is just adequate. Adequate. My husband is adequate? He doesn't challenge you, doesn't push you to be better. He's content with a small life, small career, small dreams. You could be so much more. I like my life. I like my house and my career and my dreams. Because you don't know what else is possible. But without Ryan, you could explore, grow, become who you're meant to be. And who am I meant to be, Diane? Someone who doesn't settle. Someone who doesn't tie herself down to a man who doesn't appreciate her. Ryan appreciates me. He loves me. He's been trying to save our marriage while you've been trying to destroy it. I haven't been trying to destroy anything. I've been trying to free you. From what? From a marriage that was never going to make you happy. Claire, can't you see? I've watched you struggle for 2 years. I've listened to you cry and complain and question whether you made the right choice. That's not what marriage should be.
Marriage is work. It's supposed to have struggles. Not constant struggles, not perpetual doubt. A good marriage has challenges, yes, but it also has certainty, foundation, and you've never had that with Ryan. Because you kept undermining it. I kept pointing out the truth, your version of what my marriage should be. But it's not your marriage, Diane, it's mine. I know that, but I also know you. I know what you need. And Ryan can't give it to you. And what do I need, according to you? You need someone strong, someone ambitious, someone who pushes you instead of holding you back. Someone like who? Diane hesitated. Then, quietly, someone like your father. The room went silent. What? Your father is strong, ambitious. He built a successful business. He challenges me, pushes me to be better. That's what you need, not someone who's content with mediocrity.
You want me to marry someone like my father? I want you to marry someone worthy of you, someone who will build a life with you, not just exist alongside you. And in the meantime, while I'm looking for this perfect person, I should what? Stay single? Stay dependent on you? I never said dependent. But that's what you want, isn't it? You want me to need you, to come to you for advice, to make you the center of my life. I want to be in your life. Is that so wrong? It is when you sabotage my marriage to make it happen. I didn't sabotage anything. Yes, you did. Every conversation, every piece of advice, every supportive comment was designed to make me doubt Ryan, to make me pull away from him, to make me choose you over him. Diane's expression hardened. Maybe I did push you to question things. Maybe I did point out flaws, but someone had to. You were so blinded by love that you couldn't see Ryan for who he really is. And who is he really? Ordinary. Nice, but ordinary. And you deserve extraordinary. I deserve to make my own choices, to decide for myself what kind of marriage I want. But you took that from me. You manipulated me. For 2 years, you've been manipulating me. I've been guiding you. Without my consent, without my knowledge, you've been playing puppet master with my marriage, and you're not even sorry. Of course I'm sorry you're hurt, but I'm not sorry for trying to help you see reality. The reality is that I love Ryan. I married him because I wanted to build a life with him, and that life would have been fine if you hadn't spent 2 years destroying it. If your marriage was strong enough, I couldn't have destroyed it. The admission was clear, undeniable. She destroyed my marriage, and she just admitted it. I have been recording this conversation, every word. Diane's face went white. What? I needed proof, needed you to admit what you've been doing, and you did. You admitted you've been undermining my marriage, deliberately. You can't record me without my permission. Actually, in this state, I can. One-party consent, and I'm going to play this recording for my father so he can hear what you've really been doing. Claire, wait, let's talk about this. We're done talking. I want you out of my life permanently. You don't mean that. I absolutely mean that. You've been toxic, manipulative. You've nearly destroyed my marriage. I will never trust you again. I'm your stepmother. You're a manipulator who used your position in my life to control me. That's all you are. I grabbed my purse, headed for the door. Claire, please don't do this. I love you. No, you don't. You love having power over me. That's not the same thing. I left, got in the car with Ryan. My whole body was shaking. Did you get it? He asked. I got it. She admitted everything. What did she say? I played him the recording, watched his face as he listened to Diane admit to destroying our marriage. When it finished, he looked at me. That's it. That's the proof we needed. I'm sending it to my father right now. I sent the audio file to my father with the message, listen to this, all of it, then call me. 20 minutes later, my phone rang. My father. I listened to it, he said. His voice was shaking. Claire, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I didn't believe you, but this is undeniable. She's been doing this the entire time, Dad, systematically destroying my marriage. I know. I hear it now. God, Claire, I'm so sorry. What are you going to do? I'm going to confront her immediately. She should be home soon. And then what? I don't know, but I can't stay married to someone who would do this to you, to my daughter. For the first time since this started, I felt validated. My father believed me, finally. Call me after you talk to her, I said. I will. And Claire, I'm proud of you for figuring this out, for fighting for your marriage, and for standing up to her. We hung up. Ryan pulled me close. It's over, I said. She can't manipulate me anymore. We're free. We're free, he agreed. But there was still one question. Could we rebuild what she destroyed? Or was the damage too deep?
My father called me back 3 hours later. I confronted her, he said. His voice sounded hollow, empty. Played her the recording, asked her to explain. What did she say? At first, she denied it. Said you'd manipulated the conversation, taken things out of context. But I made her listen to the whole thing, and then she admitted it. Admitted what, exactly? That she'd been trying to break up your marriage. That she thought Ryan wasn't good enough for you. That she wanted you to stay close to us. Close to her. What are you going to do? I've asked her to move out. Temporarily. While I figure things out. Dad, I'm sorry. I know you love her. I thought I did. But I don't know who this person is. The woman I married wouldn't do this to my daughter. Wouldn't manipulate someone she claims to love. Did she say why? Did she explain why she did it? A long pause. She said she was afraid of losing you. That after your mother died, you became the daughter she never had. And when you got married, she panicked. Thought she'd lose her relationship with you. So she tried to destroy my marriage to keep me close? Yes. It's sick, Claire. I see that now. But at the time, I think she convinced herself she was helping you, that she really did think Ryan wasn't good enough. That's not her decision to make. I know. I told her that. She didn't take it well. Where's she now? She went to stay with her sister. I think we're going to separate. I can't trust her anymore, and I can't stay married to someone who would hurt you like this. Dad, I don't want to be the reason you divorce. You're not. Her choices are the reason. She chose to manipulate you. She chose to lie to both of us. Those are her choices, not yours. We talked for another 20 minutes. He apologized repeatedly for not believing me at first, for defending Diane, for not seeing what was happening. I thought I knew her, he said. But I didn't. Not really. After we hung up, I told Ryan everything. He's separating from her, I said. He can't trust her anymore. How do you feel about that? Sad for him, relieved for me, guilty that my family is falling apart. This isn't your fault. I know, but it still feels like it is. Ryan pulled me close. It took months, but slowly, I learned to distinguish my own voice from Diane's. And slowly, Ryan and I rebuilt trust. We set boundaries. No more confiding in family members before talking to each other. No more assuming the worst about each other's intentions. No more letting outside voices influence our relationship. We also worked on the legitimate issues in our marriage, the things that had made us vulnerable to Diane's manipulation in the first place. We'd been bad at communicating. Ryan had a tendency to withdraw when stressed. I had a tendency to seek external validation instead of addressing problems directly with him. Diane exploited your weaknesses, Dr. Patterson explained, but those weaknesses existed before she targeted them. Part of healing is strengthening those areas so you're not vulnerable to future manipulation. 6 months into therapy, Ryan moved back home. We weren't fixed, but we were better. Talking more, fighting less, trusting each other.
I miss this, Ryan said one evening. We were cooking dinner together, something we hadn't done in over a year. I missed us. Me too. Do you still hear her voice? Diane's? Sometimes, but quieter now. I'm getting better at ignoring it. Good, because I need you to hear my voice, not hers. I'm trying. He turned off the stove, turned to face me. Claire, I love you. I've loved you since the day we met, and I want to spend my life with you. But I need to know you believe that you believe in us. I do. I believe in us. Even when things are hard, even when we fight, even then. Because now I know the difference between normal marital struggles and someone actively trying to destroy us. He kissed me. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I agreed. My relationship with my father improved too. He was devastated by Diane's betrayal, blamed himself for not seeing it, for not protecting me. I should have noticed, he said, over coffee one afternoon, should have seen how involved she was, how every conversation with her left you doubting Ryan. She was subtle, Dad. That's what made it so effective. Still, I'm your father. I should have protected you. You did, eventually, when it mattered. He and Diane were officially separated now. Divorce proceedings had started. Diane had tried to fight it at first, sending long emails to my father explaining her actions, justifying her choices. She still thinks she was helping you, my father said. In her mind, she was saving you from a bad marriage. That's what makes it so insidious. She's convinced herself she had good intentions. Narcissists often do. Diane tried to contact me several times. Texts, emails, voicemails, all saying the same things. She was sorry I was hurt. She only wanted what was best for me. If I just listened, she could explain. I blocked her number, blocked her email, made it clear through my father that I wanted no contact. She's asking about you, my father would tell me occasionally, wants to know if you'll ever forgive her. What do you tell her? The truth, that you need space, that the damage she caused will take years to heal, that she needs to respect your boundaries. Does she? Not really, but she doesn't have a choice. I'm enforcing the boundaries, even if she won't. A year after the confrontation, Ryan and I renewed our vows. Small ceremony, just close friends. Dr. Patterson officiated. Marriage is a choice, not just the choice you make on your wedding day, but the choice you make every day after. Claire and Ryan have chosen each other every day for the past year, through doubt and pain and hard work. And today, they're choosing each other again, consciously, deliberately, freely. We'd written new vows, honest ones. I promise to trust you, I said to Ryan, even when it's hard, even when outside voices tell me not to. I promise to come to you first with my doubts and fears. I promise to build our life together, not let someone else build it for us. I promise to be patient with you, to understand that healing takes time, to prove myself trustworthy every day. I promise to protect our marriage from interference, from doubt, from anyone who tries to come between us. We kissed. Our friends applauded. And for the first time in 2 years, I felt completely certain about my marriage. Not because everything was perfect, but because we'd been tested and we'd survived. My father walked me down the aisle at the vow renewal. He'd done it at our original wedding too, but this felt different, more meaningful. I'm proud of you, he whispered, for fighting for your marriage, for seeing through Diane's manipulation, for being stronger than she gave you credit for. Thanks, Dad. Your mother would be proud too. My mother? I thought about her sometimes. Wondered what she would have thought of Diane, whether she would have seen through her sooner than I had.
I think she would have seen what Diane was doing, I said. Mom was perceptive like that. She was. She saw through people's facades. It's why she was such a good friend to so many people. I wish she was here. Me too, sweetheart. Me too. At the reception, Melissa gave a toast. I've known Claire since college, she said, and I've watched her relationship with Ryan from the beginning. They've always been solid, always been right for each other. And when things got hard, when outside forces tried to tear them apart, they fought back. They did the work. They chose each other. That's real love, not the easy kind, the hard kind, the kind that lasts. People clinked glasses. Ryan squeezed my hand. We made it, he whispered. We made it, I agreed. Later that evening, my father pulled me aside. I need to tell you something, he said. Diane's been trying to reach me, says she wants to apologize, to both of us. What did you tell her? That I'm not ready, that you're definitely not ready, that maybe someday, but not now. Thank you. But Claire, I need to ask you something. If someday she does genuinely apologize, if she gets help, does the work, becomes a different person, would you consider forgiving her? I thought about it. I don't know. Maybe, but it would take years, and it would require her to actually change, not just perform change. That's fair. Do you still love her? He sighed. I love who I thought she was, but I don't think that person ever existed. I think Diane showed me what I wanted to see, just like she showed you what she wanted you to see. I'm sorry, Dad. Don't be. You saved me from living with a lie. That's a gift, even if it doesn't feel like one. As the evening wound down, Ryan and I drove home, to our house, the one we'd almost lost, now reclaimed and made ours again. What are you thinking? Ryan asked. That we did it. We actually did it. We saved our marriage. We did. But Claire, I need you to know something. Even if we hadn't, even if the damage had been too deep and we'd ended up divorcing, it still wouldn't have been your fault. Diane did this, not you. I know. But I also know I made choices that made us vulnerable. I listened to her instead of you. I let her in too deep. We both made mistakes. That's normal. What matters is we recognized the problem and fixed it. Together. Together. We went inside. Our home. Our marriage. Our life. Reclaimed from someone who tried to take it from us. And we were stronger for it. Not in spite of what happened, but because of it, because we'd been tested and we'd fought back. The tapes had set me free, free from Diane's manipulation, free from doubt, free to build the marriage I'd always wanted. And we were building it, one day at a time, one choice at a time, one conversation at a time. Not perfect, but real and ours.
That was 3 years ago. I'm sitting in our living room now, watching Ryan assemble a crib. We're having a baby, a daughter, due in 6 weeks. This instruction manual makes no sense, he says, holding up a piece that could be a support beam or a decorative element. Why do they make these things so complicated? Want me to help? No, I've got it. I think. Maybe. I laugh. This is us now. Easy laughter, comfortable silences, partnership that feels natural, not forced. The past 3 years have been good, not perfect. We still fight sometimes, still have disagreements, but they're our fights, our disagreements, not manufactured by someone else. We finished couples therapy a year ago. Dr. Patterson said we'd done the work. We'd rebuilt trust. We'd learned to communicate. You'll probably have challenges in the future, she'd said at our last session. All couples do, but you know how to handle them now, together.
She was right. We've had challenges. Ryan's firm went through layoffs last year. I had a health scare that turned out to be nothing but was terrifying in the moment. We've had financial stress and family stress and all the normal pressures of life, but we've handled them together, without outside interference. My father is doing well. He finalized his divorce from Diane 2 years ago. It was messy. She fought it, tried to claim she'd been unfairly characterized, hired an expensive lawyer, but the recordings I'd made were damning, and my father's lawyer used them to show a pattern of manipulation and emotional abuse. Diane didn't get much in the settlement, and she moved across the country shortly after. Last my father heard, she was living in Arizona, alone. I think she's trying to reinvent herself, Dad said last month over dinner. Her sister says she's in therapy, claims she's working on herself. Do you believe that? I want to, for her sake, but I also don't think people change that fundamentally. Not at her age, not after a lifetime of manipulative behavior. Have you talked to her? Once, about 6 months ago. She called, said she wanted to apologize. I listened. She said she was sorry for hurting you, for hurting me, for letting her fear of losing you drive her to destroy your marriage. Did you believe her? I believed she was sorry she got caught. I don't know if she's actually sorry for what she did. I understood that. Diane was good at performing remorse, less good at actually feeling it. She'd tried to contact me too, a letter that arrived about a year ago. Dear Claire, I know you don't want to hear from me. I know I hurt you terribly, but I need you to know that I'm sorry. I was wrong to interfere in your marriage, wrong to let my own fears dictate my actions, wrong to manipulate you when you trusted me. I've been in therapy for the past year, working on understanding why I did what I did. My therapist says I have abandonment issues stemming from my childhood, that I was terrified of losing my relationship with you, so I tried to control it, to make you need me more than you needed Ryan. I see now how sick that was, how harmful, how wrong. I don't expect your forgiveness. I don't deserve it, but I wanted you to know that I'm working on becoming a better person, someone who doesn't manipulate the people she loves. I hope you and Ryan are happy. I hope your marriage survived my attempts to destroy it. You deserve happiness, Claire. Real happiness. Not the kind I tried to manufacture for you. With deep regret, Diane. I had read the letter 3 times, looked for the manipulation in it, the performance, the subtle attempts to gain sympathy. And maybe they were there, or maybe she was genuinely sorry. I'd never know for sure. So I'd filed the letter away and decided not to respond.
Not because I was still angry, though I was a little, but because engaging with Diane in any way felt dangerous, like opening a door I'd finally managed to close. You don't owe her anything, Ryan had said when I showed him the letter. Not forgiveness, not a response, not closure. She made her choices. You get to make yours. And I chose distance, protection, peace. Ryan finishes assembling the crib, steps back to admire his work. What do you think? He asks. Perfect. Our daughter is going to love it. Our daughter. We're having a daughter, and I'm going to be a mother. The thought terrifies me sometimes because I think about Diane, about how her need for control, her fear of abandonment, her inability to let go, all of it nearly destroyed my life. What if I become like that? What if I can't let my daughter grow up, make her own choices, live her own life? You won't, Ryan says when I voice these fears, because you're self-aware, because you recognize the patterns, because you'll do the work to be different. He's right. I'm already in therapy, not couples therapy this time, but individual therapy,
working through my own issues, my tendency to seek external validation, my fear of conflict, my difficulty setting boundaries. You were vulnerable to Diane's manipulation for a reason, not because you're weak, but because you had wounds she exploited. Healing those wounds means she can't hurt you again, and it means you won't pass them on to your daughter. I'm learning, growing, becoming stronger. And I'm using what I learned to help others. 6 months ago, I started a blog, writing about my experience with manipulation, about recognizing the signs, about healing from emotional abuse. It's small, but people read it. People comment saying my story helped them recognize manipulation in their own lives, helped them set boundaries, helped them escape toxic relationships. You're turning something terrible into something meaningful, Melissa said when I started the blog. That's powerful. Maybe I just needed a way to process what happened, to make sense of it, to ensure it wasn't all for nothing. Ryan comes to sit next to me on the couch, puts his hand on my growing belly. She's kicking, I say. I feel it. Are you scared about being parents? Terrified, but also excited. We're going to be good at this. How do you know? Because we've already survived the hardest test. Someone tried to destroy us, and we fought back. If we can handle that, we can handle anything. He's right. We've been tested, and we've proven we're stronger together. The tapes that exposed Diane's manipulation set me free. Free from her control, free from doubt, free to build the life I wanted. And I've built a good life, a real life, a life based on truth and trust and honest communication. Not perfect, but mine. Ryan kisses me. I love you. I'm glad you didn't give up on us. I love you too. Thank you for waiting while I figured it out. Always. I look around our living room, at the crib that's ready for our daughter, at the home we've built together, at the marriage we've fought to save. And I think about Diane wherever she is, whether she's really changed or just performing change, whether she's found peace or is still manipulating people. I hope she's changed for her sake, but I also know I'll never let her close enough to find out. Some doors, once closed, need to stay closed. The tape set me free, and I'm staying free.